Today, we're going to be ripping off Hestu. More specifically, we'll be doing a trick that lets us buy inventory upgrades for only 1 seed apiece. The glitch we'll be using is called Hestu scamming, and it was originally discovered by Blackmars using a glitch that Ock found called lift storage warp. If you've seen Timbers beating a shrine in 13 frames video, then you've already seen what that glitch can kinda do. Tahatano, the same player who figured out the unbreakable master sword, later found an easier setup for Hestu scamming that used gas warp instead of lift storage warp, but a player by the name of M commented on that video, suggesting a method that wouldn't require any glitches at all. That's the method I'll be going over in this video. I will be covering the gas warp method as well, but I'm going to be giving that one a video of its own. So the first thing with this method is that there are 2 hard requirements to perform it, and both of those come in the form of one-time quests that you can't have already completed. Both of these quests stem from the Lucky Clover Gazette questline and are the 4R Princess quest given by Pen at the Foothill Stable, and the All-Clucking Cucco quest given by Pen at the South Akala Stable. If you've already cleared the Cucco minigame, this method won't be possible for you, and you're gonna have to wait for the gas warp video. If you've already completed the 4R Princess quest, then unfortunately, you won't be able to perform any method of this glitch. So the first thing you need to do is initiate the Lucky Clover Gazette quest. If you haven't already done this, just head over to the Lucky Clover Gazette and talk to either Tracy or Pen. Once that's done, make your way to the Foothill Stable and talk to Pen. This will start the 4R Princess quest. Next, we need to head just northeast to the South Akala Stable and talk to Pen over there to start the All-Clucking Cucco quest. Once you've got both quests, head up to the tree for the Cucco quest and play through round 1 of the minigame. When you're done the first round, exit out of the minigame and make your way over to the Foothill Monster Den, which is located just northwest of the Foothill Stable. For this part, you're going to need 1 stake and some devices to create a platform, so make sure that you have whatever you need before you go to the cave. I've only bothered to do this with carts since they perfectly fit in the space that we'll be using, but you can try to experiment with other items if you want. A few other things I heavily suggest doing are getting a travel medallion to set outside of the cave, stocking up on a few hover stones and wings, and selling all stamina upgrades that you have to the demon statue and Lookout Landing. All of those things are going to make your life incredibly easier later on. So when you get to the cave, set up your platform and put that stake underneath it so we can kind of stick it up out of the ground. And we're going to use this to block off the cave entrance just like this. We're going to be paragliding down from on top of this entrance to kind of land between those NPCs and initiate their dialogue trigger, so it's very important to make sure that your platform is in a good spot. If it's too far forward, then it's going to get in your way when you try and land, and if it's too far away, then it's going to prevent the trick that we're trying to do from actually working. Additionally, if the platform is too high or low, Link will be able to walk right over or under it, which will also prevent the trick we're trying to do from actually working. So once you've got your platform in place, climb up and paraglide down into the cave entrance. Do your best to try and land on the ground in between the NPCs and your platform. When you land, the dialogue is going to start up. Just advance through that until they ask you to help and then decline. This is going to start walking Link away from the cave, but the platform that we set up is going to stop us from actually going anywhere. Once Link finishes walking, you need to immediately climb up onto your platform, making sure that you're not walking around anywhere else. If you mess up any of this process in here, then you can just climb back on top of the cave and just try it again from the paraglider. So what we just did was create a reset point inside of the NPC's dialogue trigger. Your reset point is where the game is going to place Link anytime he gets voided out. Typically, your reset point is wherever the last location is that Link set foot on the map. But by carefully managing our movement, we can set and maintain a reset point and then use it as a form of warping. If you've seen any Tears of the Kingdom speedruns, then this is the same trick where the runners will walk across a bunch of wings to open up the Temple of Time door and then jump off to void out and end up all the way back by the bridge next to the construct. Now, because the reset point we just made is inside the NPC dialogue trigger, the next time that Link voids out, when we spawn back in, that dialogue is going to initiate immediately, regardless of any other state Link might be in. Sorry for the random little tangent, but reset points are just really neat, and I wanted to teach you guys a little bit about how they work. So from this point, we need to make our way back to the Cucco minigame without touching any natural terrain. In other words, the floor is lava. The easiest way to do this is going to be by just building a hover bike and mounting it on your platform. Once you get back over to the Cucco, the easiest way to get safely to the ground is by shooting hover stones with your bow. You can land on them pretty easily in the air when you shoot them with an arrow, and then you can just kind of use those to get yourself down to ground level. And then once you get down there, you can just lay down some wings to make a path over to the Cucco. Now just talk to him and start up the minigame. Don't worry about your position getting messed up or Link getting misplaced or anything. The game is just going to start exactly where you stand. So our goal with this is to fly over to the well, drop down, and void out in the water, all without touching the ground. The rim of the well doesn't count as natural terrain, so you can step on that without worrying about messing up your reset point. When you get into the water, just swim back and forth to drain your stamina, but make sure that you are very careful not to get too close to the walls or the edges of that water, because the ground comes up gradually and it is very easy to accidentally put a foot down on it and reset your reset point. So just be careful of that. Once you void out, Link should wake up right at the cave entrance where we set that reset point, and you'll immediately start talking to the NPCs. Progress through their dialogue, and then when prompted to help, say, "I'll try it," and then that's fine when they ask you about getting rid of all your gear, and that will start everything up and put you inside the cave. Once you get into the cave, you'll be in a limited inventory state, but you'll also have the timer from the Cucco minigame still going at the top of the screen. Just hang around right here until that timer runs out. When it hits 0, the screen is going to fade, and then it'll come back in, and you'll be prompted to try again or quit the minigame. Press B to quit out of the minigame, and it'll close out of the dialogue. What this did was give us the ability to warp out of this cave while we're still doing that quest. So pull up your map and warp to where Hestu is. Now just go talk to him, and every upgrade you try and buy will only cost you 1 seed each. A very important thing to note is that your upgrade slots will not be displayed in your current inventory while you're in this state. Also, as far as Hestu can tell, your inventory isn't receiving any upgrades and doesn't have any upgrades, so he will not stop you from buying too many. While this may sound like a good thing, there is a hard limit to the number of inventory slots that you're allowed to have, so this isn't going to just let you have endless inventory space. It is significantly more likely to actually cause issues in your game if you do over upgrade. So you need to make sure that you're keeping track of how many slots you have at all times so you don't go over the limit. The maximum number of inventory slots are 19 for melee weapons, 20 if you already have the Master Sword, 20 for shields, and 14 for bows, 15 if you count the slot for your arrows. This means melee slots can be expanded a total of 10 times, Shields can be expanded a total of 16 times, and bows can be expanded a total of 9 times, for a total cost of 35 Korok Seeds to fully upgrade everything. So when you're finished buying all of your upgrades, close out of the dialogue, and then simply head back to the Foothill Monster Den and talk to the NPCs again. If you put down that travel medallion like I mentioned earlier, this is where it's going to come in handy. When you talk to them, they're going to go ahead and put you back into the cave, then just talk to them again and tell them that you're giving up on the quest, and they'll give you all of your stuff back and put you back outside. Now, when you open up your inventory, you'll see that all of those upgrades that you bought have now been applied, and you have all of your space. And that's it. That's all there is to it. As always, thanks for watching. You know where all the links are by now, so just go do the things. Thank you to this month's channel members, Timber, David Richard, and the 31st Llama. If you want to see your name up there with them, you can become a channel member for only 99 cents a month, and you'll also unlock the VODs from my glitch testing streams where I learn all the glitches for my upcoming videos. But that'll do it from me. See you in the next one.